Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, we had the team: Deku, Chloe, Mia, Erica, and Michael. These five are currently in John's subconscious, and they are trying to do what they can to help him out. They went to go investigate the police station in order to try and find him first, then talk to him. However, after their conversation, the police station was attacked by the Enclave, who have cut off communications and are talking about sealing off the town from the outside world. Now, this is bad. The Enclave have taken over the police station. The group managed to get out with some of the weapons from the armory and 2 police cars. Whenever they finally went to an abandoned building, Deku, he talked to John, managing to break through the dream and pull him back into his own subconscious. Snap him out of it. And the first thing he did was punch Deku in the face. Now, Deku, he wasn't happy. However, John was quite alarmed when he realized more time has passed than he does realize. He's trying to go over in his mind that first, he missed the battle. Second, they managed to beat the Enclave. Third, all of this is going on inside of his own head. And fourth, the fact that Deku seems to have changed quite a bit from the last time he really did know him. John remembers the guy from the vault who started acting reckless, who was a bit more the fool. He knows that Deku went through certain training to be able to talk to people, be more charismatic, to be more friendly, and he did show off he used that quite a bit. He got into trouble. But someone was calling Deku Commander. And fact was, no matter what came out of his mouth, as unbelievable as it was, he was being serious. Now, Evelyn talked to some of the Vault's therapists, and they've all been able to figure out that certain places in this town are probably linked to John's psyche, how he perceives the world. An abandoned place could have an abandoned memory of the vault. A familiar place, like say the home in his dream, could have good memories. And the morgue could have bad memories, since death and violence are typically around that area. And the Enclave taking over the police station represents authority and control. Now, this is good. They have a vague idea of where they should be heading. However, it's also bad, since no one should be outside because of the curfew the Enclave is trying to enforce. Now, with that being said, let us currently pick up in the abandoned building. Right now, there is 10 minutes gone by. John, he has yet to come back into the room, and Deku can understand. He's already trying to prepare a list of things to answer to John, since he himself has probably prepared a list of questions. And whenever he does come stepping back into the room, his expression is a little bit more changed. And he does get to talk about it. Okay. I had some time, but I'm still a bit confused about all of this. Well, this is a dream, right? So, that got me thinking. Oh no. It's not that bad. But besides, if it's my dream, I can control things. So why can't I just push them out? Like lucid dreaming. I don't think that'll work. It might. We actually don't know if that would. Mia stepping forwards and entering the conversation. John, I'm not much of a mental doctor, but if you were to try that, I don't know if it would be well. You have to remember, we're working on the strain your brain's going to be taking. Plus, we're all linked mentally. You waking up put more strain on your brain. Okay. And, but what if we think about it? I mean, if this is a mass dream for all of us, can't we just change it? Hmm. Well, maybe you could exert some form of control. Or what are you thinking? Well, I don't know. I mean, dreams follow on some sort of logic. I'm. Hmm. John closing his eyes and trying to focus. And right now, there is where Deku, he does go to look around. As right now, John, he does go to open his eyes and go to look around. Nothing happened. Then Deku himself is confused. What are you trying to do? I was hoping to take us to my home. Let me try again. Just focus a bit more and think a little harder. John? Okay, John, stop. Okay, but what if we all try? I mean, come on. You said you've been out there for a long time. I'm sure you've seen weirder things. I've seen a lot of things you wouldn't believe. Fuck it. I can't believe we're actually gonna do this. We're gonna listen to him? Deku turning to Erika. And he does go to express. Stranger things have happened. Okay, so what is he trying to do? Well, uh, okay, just think about my house and we should be able to get there. But I'm not sure if that'll work. I don't know where your house is. Okay, just focus on my thoughts. I mean, can't you call that voice back? I can try, but I'm not sure she'll even hear me. Right now, she's focused on making sure all of this can even happen. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how much of it she can control. You don't know? No, we don't. Evelyn mentioned some things could be possible, but maybe find a memory? A memory. Okay, so what should we do then? Mia, bring her hands up in thought. Finding a memory. The next room's of the vault, right? Kind of. Her opening the door and walking inside. And everyone, they do go to turn looking at Deku, as he does it follow talking about it. Let's just play this out. See what she's gonna do. And Mia, she does just won't stand there. Right now, her closing her eyes and trying to focus. And Deku, he does feel a small tug on his awareness. Him going to freeze as he's a turn looking at her. And she does get to talk about it. Okay. Okay, something happened. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Mr. Midoriya? Evelyn. Sorry, Commander. I don't know what that was. You felt that. Evelyn, is there some way to, I don't know, focus on this? I mean, lucid dreaming, controlling the dream? I don't know. That may put more strain on John. And if we try it ourselves, it may put more strain on you. But if it's a collective effort, maybe I can try and help. What are you trying to do? I'm not sure. We have a pack of weapons and we're just trying to make sure we can be prepared. What would work is if we had our powers. Wait a minute. Mia turning to Deku, and she does get to ask Evelyn to help her focus on a thought. Right now, Deku staying there as he does go to turn. Right now, him standing there as Grognak the Barbarian and finding an axe in his hand. And whenever he does go to heft it over his shoulder, he does a turn looking at it. Before he does a turn and look directly at Mia. Really? I hate the fact that that worked. Not inaccurate. Maybe put on a shirt. Gee, I wonder why. I really wouldn't want it to be the Silver Shroud. Though Deku feeling himself out. Right now, he does go to set down the axe and walk over to a police car. And whenever he does to put his hand on it, he does go to slowly lean forwards and watching as his hand does sink into the metal. And this does give Deku a little bit of time to reconsider what he's doing. Right now, him pulling his hand free and seeing the indent. As he does go to pull his hand up and crash it down a little hard on the trunk, sending a massive dent sprawling inside of it. And there is where Evelyn does get to ask if they're doing something. She felt something weird. We found out that we can use our imagination. What? Did my mental activity spike? No, it was Mia's. Though, your body's acting strange. Is it? She just turned me into Grognak the Barbarian. Did it? Yup, it worked. I've got some of my power, but it's not exactly the way I thought it would be. I got my strength back. Okay, so how are you guys doing all this? You guys might strain your own minds. Be careful. Listen, if you can do whatever you can to get things moving along faster, do it. I can probably only keep this up for another 2, maybe 3 hours tops. You guys have already been down for a lot longer than you should be. They think that by that time there might be more serious damage. Speed things up along however you can, and I'll try to take on some of the strain. Evelyn, don't. Put some strain on us. If you need to ease up on something, let us know. We're not sure if we can just stop now and leave John this way, but I don't think it'd be a good idea. You don't think so? Time passes a little differently in here. I know for sure it wasn't an hour. It was a little longer, like she said. So you guys have more time? Maybe. But that's different. Listen, the longer we spend talking and trying to figure this out, the longer we're going to waste time. I'll make this quick and brief. We're going to try and use our imagination and speed things along. You'll probably feel spikes from all of us. That's what's happening. Though I can't particularly say I'm mad with what Mia did. I'm not happy. Him going to turn. And right now he does go to tell everybody. Focus in on what they want. And they should change. And all of them they do go to try and focus. Evelyn going to focus herself as she does feel blood pull from her nose. And right now there is where everybody they do go to open their eyes as Deku he does still stand there, walking over and grabbing his axe. As Chloe or the Madam of Mystery, she does go to stand there. Right now, holding a revolver and turning, as she does still carry the shotgun on her dress. And Mia, she herself does feel a little surprised when she does a look down at her circus entertainer outfit, since she, turning and going to shoot lightning, is the inspector. I mean, this is incredible. She can wield magic. No, wait. Right, this is a dream. This isn't real magic, but still, she can cast spells. That's a big help. And right now there is Michael, who does stand there as Manta Man and go to pull the blades from his wrist. Him going to have his cape bellow out as he does a turn looking at John. And John, he is dressed as the Silver Shroud. Right now, him reluctantly going to express. Now they really should get go. Deku tried to restrain himself from laughing, as John does open his mouth and hesitate. And Deku does talk about it. Right. That might be part of it. Yeah, maybe. Am I better? Yeah. Listen, we wasted enough time. We've got to figure this out. We should get moving now. I probably stand a pretty good chance of getting some of us there, but I don't know. Think we should take the cars? Not sure. Think we'll meet resistance? That's quite possible. Deku turning to Erika, who does go to stand there, unchanged, as she does hold the bag, talking about it. She doesn't read comic books. Right. Listen, I get it, but still, we gotta figure this all out. We need a distraction. I have an idea. What if we burn the building? Or we turn on the sirens and run? That is a good idea. John, do you know the way to your house from here? Him nodding his head, as the silver submachine gun does go to sit on his shoulder. And he does talk about it. They can turn on the sirens and run. Though he's fairly certain they should be there in about maybe 15 minutes if they go through the alleyways. But if they do go on the main roads, that can be another problem. Deku nodding. And there is where they do to turn on the sirens and quickly rush out of the steel door, them slamming it closed and turning. John going to bolt as Deku does get a turn. Right now, him going to grab Chloe and throw her over his shoulder, turning and grabbing Erika. As Michael, he does go to begin sprinting. Right now, him going to talk about it. This is gonna feel weird. Him moving quickly and being surprised by his own enhanced physique. And Deku, he does gonna move talking about it. Trust me, things get weirder. And right now, they do go to move. John, he does a turn. Right now, trying to make sure they can get there without being seen. Though, when they're 2 blocks away, an Enclave convoy does go to drive down the road in the direction of the sirens. And they do get to take the opportunity to rush down another alleyway, moving into the next one across the street. And Deku, he does return. Right now, him going to talk about it. So, what now? I don't know. Listen, just come on. Him going to walk in another alleyway as he does the turn and go to start hopping the fence. Him going to turn his Deku, he does go to toss Chloe over, and she does go to land. John reaching out to help, but she does go to shrug him off. As John does go to reach out and help Erica over. Deku turning as Mia does it float upwards into the air and over. And Michael, he does a jump over as well. Right now, Mia grinning happily, and Deku does a turn, giving her a look. That does make the smile disappear. And they do go ahead through the back door. And Deku, whenever he does go to approach it, they do just step in. Right now, them finding themselves in the corridor to the vault. And this does feel rather strange, as the door behind them does go to close. Right now, them going to turn to look back as Deku does go to stride forwards. Him and Chloe going to step out as they do go to look at the walls. And Deku, he does a turn looking at the group, expressing, "There's a bit of a problem." "What?" "I think we're entering a bit more of all of our minds." "How so?" "Well," Deku turning, stepping out of the way as he does at a point, talking about it. "That is a poster from the Gamora." "The what?" "Exactly. What's the Gamora?" "I think you've talked about it before." "It's, a brothel, and a bar, and a casino. It's a place in Vegas." "Wait, Vegas is still standing?" "It is. Listen, if this is here, it's either from me or Chloe. I think it's mine." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I remember it. I hung around it a lot. And I was trying to get good eyes on those people." "Oh, right. So, if this is mine and yours, then mine or yours. Shit. We need to find one of John's memories. And quick." Mia gonna step forwards and gonna talk about it. "Okay, but the vault is full of the stuff they all know. So, do they need to rely on John or what's going on? I mean, there's a number of doors they could walk through by accident. If they head further into his subconscious or Chloe's, that's getting away from the Enclave stuff." "Maybe not. The vault is a lot of things. To all of us. But it's home, first off. Home means a lot of things. John, John, was there something in the vault that you hated, disliked, or you thought of was controlling?" Uh, well, give me a minute. Okay, in the vault. By now, Deku going to turn as a Mr. Gutsy does it around the corner and talking about it. "They're currently breaking curfew." And everyone, they gotta turn their weapons as Deku does it, chuck the axe out directly at the robot. Mia going to turn and raise her hand as the axe is a strike true and smashing directly into the Mr. Gutsy. It going to crash backwards down the hallway. And Deku, he does go to stare at his own arm and somewhat go to pump it. Him expressing, he could get used to this. And right now, Chloe does get a turn talking about it. He really shouldn't. Her giving Deku a smile, and John does get to talk about it. Okay, he does have a few ideas. But what about the opposite then? Stuff that doesn't represent control but freedom. Isn't that what they're trying to get? Freedom. If control is trying to take over freedom, authority, you held authority. Oh, you held authority as a cop and the Enclave took it. Your freedom in the vault might be a target. Is that what you're thinking? I think. I mean, I just thought that if they took my position, then they're trying to take me. They're trying to take stuff I care about, right? Is that a good line of logic? It's a very good line of logic. Mia going to smash her hand into her fist into her hand, talking about it. Okay, so where should they go then? Come on. Him going to begin running as he has a hold of the machine gun. And whenever Deku does it to pick up his axe, they do get around a corner. Right now, some Enclave soldiers going to rush them when he does a talk about it. There's enemies over here, that means they're going the right way. Beginning to fire the machine gun. And Deku, he does going to start rushing into combat as bullets do begin to fly. Him quite happy at his speed. And he does to come in, cleaving one of the men in half with the axe. And Chloe, she does going to move forwards. Right now, her firing a revolver as she does go to carry a knife. And right now, there is where John, he does begin to reload. As he's talk about how justice will prevail. And everyone, they do go to try and ignore him. And Deku does roar out whenever a Assaultron does come charging down towards him. Right now, him going to turn and yell out for them all to dodge. As Erica does a throw grenade, and Deku does a turn seeing that. As he does a turn and throw his axe out, smashing into the side of the the Assaultron's head. It going to blast out the strike that does try to shoot from its face. As it does an arc to the left and up into the hallway. As it does be blown back by the grenade. Right now it sliding as it is a throw down its arms as it does try to keep itself from falling over. And whenever it does it fully stand back up, it does a charge. It going to throw its fist directly at Deku. And Deku, he does go to grab it by the arms as it does go to begin charging up its head once more. And right now, he does go to throw his head out forwards, crashing it in the head with his own. Him feeling some heat begin to rise from his face. Right now, him going to throw up his leg and kick back against the Assaultron, beginning to pull, and ripping its arms off. The metal creature going to emit a sound as Deku, he has to throw it backwards, crashing to the ground. And there currently is where John does a rush forwards, him turning and blasts this thing down into the neck as it does go to finally have its whirl and noise go to fall silent. Right now, him going to express, turning about how this is so cool. Dude. Right, sorry. Yeah, I think it's this way. It's the track. The track? Yeah, I liked running. Helped clear my head. Them gonna make their way over. And when they do get to step into the training area, they do get to see a large track set out in front of them around a football area. And this does somewhat confuse them. As Deku, he does look at the post that shouldn't be there. I mean, The room's not tall enough for those things to even be here. And they're sticking into the ceiling? What is this? Um, Sorry, just a dream. It was a pretty good one, but I thought we all could play football at one point. I get that, John, but really? Hey, it was something. Besides, I always thought this place was missing the post. I like the rules. John, what? Deku pointing to a door that does go to stand in the middle of the field. And it is confusing. Them going to approach them as the door does going to turn into multiple. And one door in particular does make Deku freeze and drop the axe he does to wield. Right now, Chloe going to tense up as she does a turn and glance directly at Deku, staring him down as there are 5 doors in front of them. And it's not good. And John, he does a stare on. He recognizes the prison cell, the door to a room he was captured in. It's not good. He doesn't know what this giant door is, or what is this? Dried blood? Him going to reach out for it as Deku does tell him, don't step towards that. What? Why? That door is either mine or Chloe's. It's a door into my head. It's yours? It is. Listen, we're avoiding that. Whose is the cell? I don't know. What about the vault door? I mean, that one's simple. I'm not sure. Okay, then what about this one? The red door. That one's mine, I think. It's from an old book. Is it? Okay, then which one's John's? I think mine is the cell. Michael does get to say. And John does go look at all the doors. Right now, him going to narrow it down. There's only one. And he does get to walk through it and go to turn, telling everybody to come on. And whenever they do get to walk through, there is the room. It is there. Right now, it's the jail cells they were all caught in. And Mia does go look around as she does hear a voice. Come on, guys, we've got to plan something. We've got to figure this out. It's useless. I think we should. Marcy lowering her voice after a shock is going to run through her body. And Chloe, she does go to lay in her cell as John does stand there across from her. And John, he does go to turn looking at his mutated self. Mia going to walk over. As she does a stare into the room Deku does currently sit in. And Deku, he does walk past, talking about it, turning back. They gotta go, now. And Mia does look in. Right now, her staring at him. And he does get to talk about it. John, is there anything else going on here? I don't know. Right now, Deku turning back as an Enclave soldier does go to try and throw a knife at Deku. And Deku, he does go to bring his hand up to stop the knife. Him turning it and stabbing it directly down into their own heart. And the fluid motion of it as he does a turn, throwing the man into the wall, does go to alarm him. Since he's faster, stronger, and he does it a turn, talking about it. Okay, does he remember the room? I do. Um, Hang on. I need a second. John. Okay. Them going to walk out as John does lead them. And what if they do to walk into another hallway, they do take the right. And John does see multiple doors he does get to recognize. Them walking past one that is open. And Mia does a turn and peek in. As there is where she does see a man laying on a slab as multiple doctors are doing a ton of things to him. And she has a pullback as there is where Michael does go look into another door. Him pulling it closed rather hard and talking about it. This is one of his. Right now, Erica walking further down and finding another door. Checking it as there is where Deku up ahead does a glance at a open door. And the face he does make does a twist into a little bit of anger. However, he does it a turn and walk away from it, not staring at what happened. And over Mia does go to catch up, she does a look directly into the room. Right now, there is her brother. He's strapped down to a table. And doctors, they are cutting into him, and she doesn't hear the sound of the whirling drills. As Deku, he does make muffled noises of distress. And the doctors, they do talk about quite a few things. About how Specimen 3, he does show much promise. But at the same time, they're quite interested in a number of other things. Such as, well, I mean, he was given this version of the serum. But what about later? I mean, if he does mutate as to what we believe, then he could be very dangerous. That is an interesting thought, Doctor. But you gave him that version. You're saying that you could concoct something different. Perhaps. Though, I'm unsure of quite a number of factors. He had the requisite markers. But someone pulling the door closed as Chloe does a glare look at Mia. And she does get to talk about it. She really should keep up. Her turning and looking at Chloe with a bit more surprise, as she does be pulled along by her. And there is currently Deku. Deku, he does stare at a few things playing on. Actual memories. Right now, they're standing in the warehouse. It's the day of the attack. And John himself does stare at it. Belief not in his mind. A robot army. And he's on the enemy's side. He does see Deku and him fighting, going at it. And he does get a stare. Just surprised. Before he does it a turn. And he doesn't make his way without talking down a hallway. He feels like he's heading the right way. There's something pulling on him. It's connected to this memory. It's here. And he does go to begin hearing a sound. Everyone surprised by it. As there is where they do to find a room. And it does look kind of strange. The emotion they do to feel off of it is rather alarming. A sense of uncertainty. A sense of doom. And there is where John does stop and talk about it. He thinks this is it. That that sound he's hearing. It it's there. He remembers that they dug it into his mind. That they played it so much. It just never stopped. It never stopped. It kept playing. It just never stopped. It just John. Him turning and looking at Deku. And Deku, he does go to give him a gaze that does show understanding. And this does confuse John. How could Deku understand the type of shit he's been through? And Deku, he does a turn, talking about it. They need to get rid of it. Just get rid of it. John turning back to the room. And he does get to show genuine fear. Genuine apprehensive about taking another step. If he walks right in there, he'll have to confront it all. And right now, Deku, he does a step forwards, going to throw out his foot and kick in the door. And John, he does feel that noise bombard right into his mind. And Deku, he does feel it too. Right now, him letting out a warrior's cry and charging in a battle with an axe. And John, he does go to approach. Him going to run into the room as it does feel blinding. It feels hazy, it feels fuzzy, a layer of it covering his mind, covering his body, pushing him down. Servitude, obey, enclave. Everything he's known is wrong. Everything they're giving him is right. He will be under their control. He will bend the knee and obey. He will make sure to purge their enemies. He will kill who they tell him to kill. He will die for them. And these things, these emotions do bombard their way into his mind, drilling into him. And Deku, he does go to swing. Right now, him crashing into a device that does go to shake the room and begin to shake everything. John's mental palace, it does go to rear. Right now, his mind, alarmed by feeling the sudden pressure, begin to try and release. And blood does begin to pour out of his nose in the real world. As John, he does to come in. Him blasting at the machine as doctors, they do come rushing into the room. And there is where John, he does a turn, gunning the men down as he does a turn, rushing over to the person covered in blood, covered in open wounds, and who does look rather unkempt, strapped to a chair. Right now, him ripping off the headgear that does to cover his face. His eye is bleeding partially, and he does pull this version of himself up and into a carry. As he does a turn, and Deku, he does go to turn as well. Him chucking his weapon into the machine. And whenever it does go to spark and begin to erupt into flames, they do to rush out of the room. It going to blow. And there is where John, he does go to feel something shatter inside of himself. As there is Deku. Deku was laying there. And he does open his eyes, blinking. Him alarmed. Oh God. He feels a bit stiff. Him gonna try and sit up. And whenever he does so, he does go to nearly fall off the platform he's laying on. As Evelyn, she does go to let out a breath and a sigh. Deku turning to her. And she does go to talk about it. Okay, whatever they did, it really, alarmed her, but she thinks it might have worked. Her turning to the others, all of them trying to get up groggily as she does go to currently lay there barfing off the side of her platform. And she does go to hurl. And Deku, he does a somewhat chuckle, as there is what the Overseer does express. They are going to attempt to wake him up in several minutes. However, do they wish to be here for this? They will evacuate all non-essential personnel and do this. However, he does want to know if they think it worked. We're not sure. I think it did. That room was the core of all those bad negative emotions. It represents everything that John had controlling him. Memories are powerful, and I felt it from here. I think we all did. Yeah, she's right about that. Right now, Mia going to sit up and go to chug a bottle of water to rinse out her mouth. Her spitting it into a trash can someone did helpfully provide her. And talking about it, she'll tell them right now she felt all of that herself. And she wasn't even in the damn room. But it was powerful. Though she is gonna miss the lightning. It was fun while it lasted. Yeah, it was. You okay, Chloe? Um, yeah, I'm just a little shaken up. I understand. Come on. Let's, uh, let's, just get some water real quick. And do you want to be here when John wakes up? I think I'll need to be. Right now, all of them going to try and get things back in order. Evelyn is quite happy to evacuate the room, since, after the amount of stress she was putting her mind through in order to make this a success, she does feel rather nice about getting a break. And there is the fact that if they do need to, they can call her back in. After sedating him, she can see about doing the deed if she does need to. Her powers have shown her a lot about how she can change the mind and putting pressure on it to wipe certain things away. That does provide much help. And Deku, he currently does a stand there. Right now, there is him. There currently is Andrea, Julia, Cynthia, and there currently is Aiden and Victor. All of them, they do to stand ready in the room. Chloe has already turned invisible, and the Turrens, they are all on standby. They have things marked out for friendly and non-friendly. And there is where something does go to approach John, coming down from the ceiling as it does go to stick into the IV that currently is in his arm. Right now, it going to pump fluid inside as it does begin to flow into John's vein. And slowly but surely, he does begin to open his eyes. His mind beginning to refocus, trying to understand what's happening. And he does lay there for a second, his mind whirling in emotion as he does move up. And there is where he does it'll relax. The table does begin to emit a sound, and Deku does start talking the moment John started panicking. You're alright. You're safe. John, is that you? Izuku? Shit, man. God damn. I thought I was. Fuck. Yeah, him finally gonna see Deku's face. Right now, him going to freeze as more of Deku does come into view. And he just does get to stare on. Deku's body is a tapestry of scars. The one on his face, the missing eye, the one that's poking out a bit under that freaking eye patch, to the side, and shit, I mean, look at his fucking torso. Something caught him in the neck, something caught him in the chest, and something big nearly took out his goddamn liver. Or his kidney? Shit, what is that? And he does a turn, looking at the others in the room. And he does just go to blink. All of them are mutants. John. Yes. Hello? Overseer? Young man, what are your allegiances to? To ensuring the safety of the vault, sir. And to making sure to ensure a brighter future for our generation. Good. Now, information's been updated. Who is our current enemy? The Enclave. And any hostilities outside the vault that we can confirm. And who is your immediate ranking superior officer? The last I checked, whenever I was still in service to security, it was Mr. Donovan. Interesting answers. Miss Pickett? He's telling the truth. His mind is better. It is still strained from what I can tell. But there's not any Enclave control. Good. Any possible chance it could be hidden? If it was, it would be very low. I can check him in the next oncoming weeks, but I do wish to express that the strain he's already been put on may have damaged his mind. He will need time to heal. And if you do wish to hold him in containment until then, that might be the best advisable action. Understood. We were already going to contain him for some time. See exactly if we can trust this young man. I hope you do understand this. Yes, sir. I do. Good. Now, you will be given amenities to this room. After we have done a significant amount of that, then you will stay here. You will be unbound from the table and allowed to roam free. Thank you, Overseer. The man going to nod his head and leave. And Deku does get to talk about it. Yeah, he'd love to stay, but he's kinda gotta deal with a few things. Mr. Midoriya. Yes? The Overseer wanted me to tell you that there's a lot going on at the moment. And, well, you did very good work. Thank you. But I don't think I can take all the credit for this. Everyone here helped. Now, as for what's going to be happening, I believe that we should get things prepared. Prepared? For what? Well, John, we might need your help. There's a faction known as the Brotherhood of Steel. They're very similar to the Enclave. We already took them out, and now these guys might be our next target. You woke me up to fight a war? We'll need your help. Not just that, but we need to deal with you. I won't say I'm all that happy that you're back. It's good, but I don't trust you just yet. You tried to kill me twice. That isn't easy to get over. You'll understand once you're in the wasteland. In the wasteland. Some of it is foggy, but I remember a bit of it. That may come back with some time. As for your current state, you really should be resting. I've been asleep for a while. I really would like to get up and moving. Chloe reappearing behind Deku, and she does wrap her arms around his. Right now, talking about it, they really should get going. Right now, she's feeling really tired. She could use a nap. Him turning and giving her a smile. Yeah, me too. Though, I think I need to run around a bit. You up for a bit of a spar? What kind of spar? Oh, you know. An actual spar. Sure. Right now, them going to leave. And John, he does still sit there going over everything in his mind. How odd the world felt. How strange it is. But he does go to someone stare after Deku. He does seem to have changed quite a bit. But he's also curious about his family. His family? When will he get to see them? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.